This is the first time we're going to try this. We've got 1 minute each for closing arguments. So I want to start alphabetically. Mark Eiglarsh, you get to start 1 minute closing argument on any topic at all.
Well, I know everybody wants me to rant, and I thought about ranting about something, but instead I want to go a little spiritual, okay? We talk about crimes, we talk about committing some of the worst abhorrent acts, and I think that there's a potential solution. I'm here to say, if you've ever considered being a big brother, serving as a mentor to someone, please consider doing it. I've done it for decades now. I've had 2 little brothers, and a concerned adult putting themselves just one time a month, I actually spend one time a week with my little, makes such a huge difference in their lives. Just please consider it. Big brothers, big sisters, makes a difference. That's my rant. That's my rant.
Positive. That's a positive rant. Phil, are you going to give us something positive or negative? That's a tough one to follow.
Unfortunately, there's a really terrible case that's just happened here in my home state of Georgia, down in Bainbridge, Georgia, which is actually very near to where I grew up. We have the case involving a Georgia toddler by the name of Clay Weeks. Clay was severely beaten on his first day at Little Blessings Daycare, the first day he was there. And we have 54-year-old Yvette Thompson, who has been arrested. She's been charged with aggravated battery, among other things. And aggravated battery in Georgia is one of those things where it requires malice to be proven, okay? So if this person acted with malice, that's more than just intent, but this is a crime that carries up to 20 years in prison. And that's really not the point of this. I tell you that to set this up. She has now been released on bond. It was a $44,000 bond. She would have had to pay a bail bondsman roughly 10 or 12% of that, I guess, to get out. But one of the factors in Georgia that a judge has to be satisfied exists is that a person is not a danger to the community. And so based on the probable cause that was found to believe that a crime probably was committed and she probably committed it, I don't understand how you could make the case that someone who could probably injure that child in that way and leave those injuries could be eligible for any kind of bond whatsoever. I just don't understand.
Thank you, Phil. Well said. Okay, I'm going to finish this with my own rant. So here's the deal. Danny Markel was a friend of mine, and his sin here was being a great father who cared deeply about his 2 boys. And for that, he was eliminated from their lives. Not only that, but the parents took the kids down to South Florida right after his murder. Not the parents, the surviving parent, Wendy, and the family. And then they stripped Danny's last name off of their kids' names. So now the kids are growing up as Adelsons, not Markels. And the alleged plan seemed to work, but now the walls are closing in. First, you had the murderers. They were both convicted. One of them cooperated. The other one got life in prison. Then you had the conduit, the girlfriend, Katie McManua. She had to take 2 trials because she got a hung jury on the first trial. The second trial, guilty, life in prison. Then the maestro, the guy who had the maestro license plate on his Ferrari, Charlie Adelson, guilty, life in prison. And now it's Donna. So now finally Donna gets her day of reckoning. And Donna, the bell tolls for thee. And if you're found guilty, it's not going to be the end. It's going to Wendy. That's my belief. That's my rant. Thank you for joining us today at MK True Crime, and tell us what you think of the show. Or for any stories you want us to cover, you can email us at mktruecrime@devilmaycaremedia.com, mktruecrime@devilmaycaremedia.com.